Hi, hello to everybody online and in Kaliningrad. It's great to share my work with you and our collaboration with other partners from around the Baltic Sea region. I would like to show you the toolkit and tell you about how and why we created it and what was the experience for us and how I hope you can use it in your work. What you can see now is the main page of the Urban Toolkit. And behind the Urban Toolkit stands the idea that we want to share the knowledge and the experience from our urban cultural planning projects with you and with other people who would like to follow our footsteps and engage in the change in their towns and neighborhoods. So we wanted to show how cultural planning works in different types of surroundings and can answer to vast and various issues that we meet in our cities. So we present the tools that can be used in the different phases of cultural planning. And when we sat together with the team, we thought that the online version of kind of interactive guidebook would be the best and most accessible to the people around the Baltic Sea regions. And of course, what you can see now is an English version, but it also will be available in the local languages of the partners that we are working with. What we wanted to do is to help people. And we, in our mind, we thought that it can be useful to people who work on different scale projects, the small grassroots ones that are led by neighbors, people living next by, that just want to change something small in their surroundings. But we also thought about the activists who want to work together with the larger groups, and engage different groups, sometimes, as Ekaterina said, sometimes conflicted groups. So we also think about the largest case, and also we do think about the experts, the architects and urbanists that work with the urban planning processes and just want to try something more participative and a need inspiration. And also with the city officials that are responsible for developing the revitalization, renewal projects and planning projects in cities on a larger scale. And they also need some tools and methods how to implement the cultural planning in the practice. So to develop a toolkit that would be useful to those various groups who work differently, we decided that we need to speak to them. We need to know what they want, how they work, and what we can present them and what can help them with the tasks that they have in their work every day. So we invited the representatives of those three groups, like city officials, experts, and local activists to participate in the user experience workshop. And that helped us design the website because we needed to know how to build it according to the needs and preferences of those groups. And we learned that what they look for in the toolkit and how they want to use it and what kind of materials and the communication they prefer. So the toolkit may seem kind of a mix, but we tried to make it as simple as can be. and universal to those needs of different groups. And it was a great experience also to us. I strongly recommend it to everyone. When you work with the user experience and designer experts, they basically are experts in the user experience online, and we who work with the urban space and the local groups, we are the experts in the user experience in the urban space. So the connection between those two virtual and physical spaces was very inspiring. And some of the methods also they used to diagnose and create the paths how people use the website can also be very inspiring to our work, how we think about people using the physical space. So it may seem that those two branches of the toolkit, the physical and the digital, may be far away, but they really meet with the same values to create spaces for people that people will feel good in, and with the functions that they need to in their everyday life. So now the core of the urban toolkit are the case studies. And I will show you how the case studies can be presented and can be searched, because we thought and we knew from the user experience that workshop that people would like to see the cases that are most similar to their conditions of work, how they work, with what groups they work, in what kind of places they work, how large is the population they are working with, and how much time do you have to complete the case. So so this is the site where you can choose what kind of aspects of the cases are in your interest. So so you will get the results that are most useful to your conditions and your plans, and you can also inspire other people by contributing your case studies to this urban toolkit. And I know that people from around Kaliningrad in Russia have already submitted cases that we will see today and tomorrow, I believe. This is one of it, and every case study is presented very simply, I believe. So we have a short introduction about what actually happened in the place, why, what was the motivation for doing this project, what tools and methods has been used in the process, and how somebody else who would like to do a similar project should organize it briefly, step by step, who can participate in the project, for whom it is the most useful and attractive. And also we have the experience about what have worked out, what was good in the project, and also what hasn't been that good, and what problems did the organizers had, and what we, when we are recreating the project somewhere else, should be aware of, and how we should prepare for some things. So the idea behind the case studies was that we wanted to give examples of how this project can work, and most importantly, that those projects work in different places, that there have been some success, so other people can inspire from it and believe that the issues they have in their own towns and places can be met with the cultural planning and participative planning ideas. So we wanted to give the users the positive vibes and the feeling that the people in other countries are dealing with similar challenges and they somehow managed, and how they managed, so we can learn from them. And the basic idea that we all share the same concern about the future of our neighborhoods. The other part of the toolkit is developed in the tools and methods part. And I will show you that here. Last year we have developed a simple video, and I will try to play it, but if you cannot hear or see the video, please let me know. And the video was like a short introduction about what cultural planning idea and method is really about. We created something that is visually attractive and simple for the people who are just starting with the method, who are not maybe experts, but they can see a simple idea behind our work. So I'm hitting the play button and I hope it works.
Planning is not a physical science, but a human science. There are no simple solutions. Urbanism is a cyclic, cumulative, and never-moving state in which the emotional condition of a community is just as important as the infrastructural state of this community. These days, artists and the cultural sector are more socially aware and are re-engaging within societies, while traditional cultural institutions are taking new roles. The reality is complex, so pure planning and pure arts management are simply insufficient. Cultural planning creates a three-way partnership between a city, its community, and art. Cultural planning replaces various aspects of a sorted city. Transport becomes communication, housing, living, space, place. Cultural planning can be a formal methodology scenario based on the city, a local approach, an extended cultural sector approach. While preparing for the cultural planning process, you need to consider several points. Size of an area. Cultural planning can be used on different scales. Structure. The more informal, independent, the more flexible cooperation. Connectivity. The more connected to the political and management structure, the more useful. Specificity. Cultural planning must be adapted to local conditions and requirements. Resources. Engaging civil society, universities, schools, artistic and cultural partners, neighboring organizations. It secures participation and long-term ownership. Time frame. Optimal time frame is 6 to 21 months. To protect, nurture, and develop social cultural processes, you need to provide a mandate by entering partnership that build your legal and organizational capacity. You would activate city resources, use bureaucracy to connect them to the city, creating interdepartment links, relations with developers, and access to budgets. For the whole duration of the process, you have to pay attention to communication and promotion via different media. Regular meetings, ongoing evaluation, and mentoring ensure active participation and support the process. Take advantage of the opportunities for long-term projects upscaling by making them more open and inclusive. Usually, there are 5 phases of cultural planning: cultural mapping, visioning, designing, implementation, diffusion. Each phase has a unique value. At every point of this process, you should provide feedback to participants and partners and inform stakeholders. While designing your process, you can choose from a wide range of methods described in the Urban Toolkit, which you can find at urbantoolkit.eu. The first stage, mapping, provides methodology for interpreting the city through the lenses of the collective. It gives you a 360-degree view on how the place works. This phase brings fresh perspectives and new stakeholders to the planning process, providing non-hierarchical ways to share what should change there and connecting it to strategic planning. Vision gives a common imagination to new, unusual perspectives on the place, helps to discover extraordinary abstract materials, and gives direction to design the future based on values, hopes, and concerns. Design is a co-creative process of making use of rediscovered resources, physical, human, symbolic, for long-term benefit of all. Experts, artists, architects, and citizens work intensely together. They learn and create. Cultural planning processes create legitimate platform for strategies based on information on multiple levels and in different languages. Mapped resources, people, places, and structures. Cross-sector networks builds trust and strong local endorsement. Raised level of interest in culture, city, by tailoring engaged cultural program of relevant, progressive projects. It kickstarts change while taking manageable risks.
Okay, thank you for watching the video. I hope it also helped you who are new to the project to understand the idea behind the cultural planning. And if you want to read more, there's a section about what cultural planning is about, and also all the information about different stages of the project in written. We have also created the tools and methods search engine where you can look for the tools that have been used in our project and in other projects that inspired us, with different groups of participants and with different ideas. What were we working on with them, and what we were trying to achieve by using this methods. So I will show you one of the methods that we have been using. I need to pause share for a moment, please. Sorry for the inconvenience, but the menu of Zoom was covering the page that I wanted to show you, so I couldn't reach it. So I had to close the web for a moment. So basically, every method is described in a simple know-how articles with some downloadable materials that you can use in your own projects. And this is a method that has been used in Kiel, in one of our partners' cities in Germany. And it was used in the cultural planning phase called visioning. And an author, Nadine Gutbrot, developed a kind of a visioning tree. And here you can see when it is useful, it has a short description, what can you use it for. This is how it looked. It basically was a place in the public square where people could write their ideas and their hopes for the future of the district. And it is basically available to age groups. Some younger children would need help to write, but maybe they can draw on something. So the age limit is basically non-existing, so you can use it in a very broad groups. And it's a very good idea for generating ideas for the future. And it has that kind of visibility in the public space that engages local community and passerbys. And also the number of participants is unlimited because the vision tree stands there for several days. And sometimes when you need to attract more people, you can animate the space in a way that you think would suit the local culture. So here you have some step-by-step instructions how to build the vision tree in your own place, in your neighborhood. And here you can find photos and also the construction materials and the project, how was it built, so you can download it and build something similar in your place if you also want to use it. Okay, so that was just a quick run through the urban toolkit and how it works. I hope you also find it useful. And from my place, where I am the urban toolkit coordinator, all the urban labs are my inspirations. I also learn new methods and new case studies that can be described in the urban toolkit. And can be shared with the international community of people who are changing the cities. So thank you very much for my presentation. I hope if you have any questions, I'm still here. And if you want to contribute something to the toolkit, I'm also here and always open for new ideas. Thank you.
Наталья, спасибо большое. Друзья, вопросы, если у кого-то есть, то их можно задать прямо сейчас Наталье. Если вопросы оформляются...
If there are any questions, you can address them to Natalia. So if you are still thinking about the questions, we can send them to Natalia a little bit later. Natalia, thank you a lot. And now we are going to move on to the part of our laboratory when we give the floor to the representatives of the cases and initiatives which ended up in this, or which were contributed to the toolkit. And the toolkit, the collection of best practices, and we asked the representatives of these initiatives make short presentations on what was happening after you uploaded your information to Toolkit, and just what happened after 2019. So just the life didn't stop after 2019, right? We described our initiatives and sent them to urban cultural planning. And so what happened after? I probably invite Elena Tsvetaeva and Arina Smirnova here to talk about their cases, because I think that these are the oldest cases. Yeah. So I will give my seat and I will give the floor to these representatives of these two projects. Elena Tsvetaeva is the director of the Baltic branch of Pushkin Fine Arts Museum with the project Tower, which was implemented by the Baltic branch of the Fine Arts Museum. And Arina Smirnova, who represents a wonderful project from Chernyakhovsk and well-known project. So that is the, the castle in Insterburg. So Elena and Arina, the floor is yours. Can you tell us about what's happening to the project now and what's happening in the recent time and what's